Greetings from the black holes of Dakota Territory, United States of advertising. And this is an advertisement. Stan Gibilisco here. Obviously this photograph out my kitchen dining room window was taken a while ago because tonight it's about 2 degrees below 0 Fahrenheit right now. I was surprised when I went out that it was that cold. But it isn't supposed to get that much colder tonight, and it's supposed to get up into the 30s tomorrow. So it was funny. It was 34 degrees this afternoon, and now it's 2 below 0. Go figure. Rapid cold front came through, and now we're going to get a rapid warm front come right back. Mysteries of the weather in the black holes. Only 2 kinds of people try to forecast the weather in the black holes. A damn fool and a meteorologist. But what I'd like to show you here is something that it just occurred to me that when it gets this cold, you know, I like the winter. The winter is my favorite season. I tend to be more robust, except for this winter. I've generally tended to be more robust. I enjoy the scenery here in the winter. It's a beautiful place to live all year round, but particularly in the winter. And so is this. This is a very nice place to live in the winter too. And I did for a little over a year around the Y2K time, when I was afraid that the mainland power grid might melt down. But the real reason that I went down to Hawaii on the Big Island, where it's much more real Hawaiian down there than it is in Honolulu, this little town of Kona. Well, anyway, the real reason I went here is because I just wanted to try it. I had the wherewithal to do it, so I did it in 1999, 2000. How old was I? In mid-40s? Do it while you're young, folks. That's my advice to you. Don't wait until you're retired to do stuff like this. But here is the website of the Kona Islander Inn Hotel. I will provide a link to this website on the description of this video. But let's just explore what it looks like. There's a little pool there. There's the walkway. It's right on the ocean, just about 150 yards from my humble abode was the ocean. There's some pictures here of interior condominiums, very small condominiums, only about 350 square feet. But what do you need a whole lot of space for to take care of when you live in a place like this? You're not going to be spending that much time indoors. Look at this, 77 degrees Fahrenheit. My gosh. But of course it's earlier in the day there. It's about 5-6 hours earlier in the day. So the sun is still up. There's their pool. There's the lobby. I well remember that place going in. Some more of the walkways. These photos on the left. I wonder if you click on them. You can't really make them any bigger. It had that kind of Hawaiian look to it. And Kailua Kona on the Big Island is where they hold the Ironman Triathlon, in case you didn't know. And I lived right by the finish line, so I could go down there and watch them stagger in. Some of them came in pretty robust. Some of them staggered in. Practically had to be put in an ambulance right away. But here is all the data. You can read all this and do whatever you want to do with this website there. Now, the thing about the Big Island, though, the beaches aren't really spectacular beaches like they are in, say, Panama City, Florida, or Cocoa Beach, Florida. I've lived in Cocoa Beach, too, by the way. And this town was affected by a tsunami. I believe it was the one that was caused by the earthquake in Japan, which did all that damage to a nuclear power plant. A 4-foot tsunami, but that was sufficient to wash out a lot of the businesses along Ali'i Drive, which is probably what you're looking at in this photograph right here. There's a typical balcony. Now I didn't have a view of the ocean. I had a view of this pool instead. But I had a very nice, that was sort of what I saw when I looked out of my second story window and sat on my second story balcony. However humble, there's no place like home, and for a year and a half this place was my home. It was affordable. There are some riffraff down there in the Big Island. This is not Honolulu. This is not the polished tourism and all of that. And as for the resentment and hatred that some Hawaiians feel for Americans, I never got any of that. I never got a sense of any of that from them. Perhaps because I was not a tourist. They knew I lived there. They knew I was there to be like them, not to try to make them be like me. And I was not there to show off my Americanism. And, you know, Hawaii really isn't part of America. And if I had my druthers, we'd give the place back to the Hawaiians. Let them have it. They could run it better than we have. They certainly would have more places like this and less places like the ones in Honolulu. But even when I got to the Honolulu airport and told them I was moving to Kona, that's what they call Kailua Kona on the Big Island, is just Kona. Even the Hawaiian attendant behind the counter there at the airport was envious of me. Oh, that was a cool place. The big old long boats coming in every evening, rowboats, you know, rowing teams, big fish. If you caught a grander, that meant you caught a fish that weighed over 1,000 pounds. You can stay there as a hotel. You can rent it as a condominium. It was probably in the evacuation zone, and the civil defense director there during that tsunami would have dragged me out by my hair if I wouldn't have left voluntarily. He was a strong-willed guy when I lived there. He ran his show with authority and knowledge. And it's a good thing, too, because there's also a couple of volcanoes on this island. There's one called Hualalai, I believe, right up the slope there from Kona, that they compare to Mount St. Helens, sort of a dormant volcano, doesn't make a lot of noise. But when it does, as it did maybe 100 years or so ago, there isn't much chance for you. You're probably going to die. So it gives a little added twist to the experience of living on an island with active volcanoes. Of course, Kilauea is the most well-known of them. But I'm just thinking about this place. I remember. I'm not thinking about moving back there. Well, I'm thinking about what it was like when I lived there. And I'm glad I did it when I was young. And if you're young and you have the wherewithal to go live in a place like this for a year and a half, I say do it. Do it while you can. Do it before something happens to your health and you think you're going to live a happy, long retirement in a place like this. Do it now, say I. Stan Gibilisco signing off once again from the black cloud-filled holes, infinitely deep, infinitely mysterious. Pahasapa, where the Lakota people come to pray. Until next time, Stan Gibilisco signing off. So long for now.